Expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshlawFirm.com.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Welcome to Community Centered, a show that features people in the community doing good things. Now, here are your hosts, Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle.
Welcome, welcome. You are listening to Community Centered. How are you, my community centered friend?
I'm centered.
Good. And I'm all about the community today. So we're a
I'm
good
wearing
match.
green, so I'm grounded.
Very good.
Yeah.
You look good in green.
Thank you.
As you look good in most colors. So how are you? What's going on?
Well, we went to George's funeral,
Mm-hmm.
which was spectacular, if you can say a funeral was.
It really was lovely.
It was a beautiful tribute.
His family spoke so eloquently about him, and represented by so many
Yeah.
people in our community was really heartwarming to see.
Yeah.
That, he was the real deal.
He was.
Mm-hmm.
And they were expecting about 900 people. I don't know how many were there, but
felt like it.
yeah, it did. It did.
The gentleman next to me said, I just sure hope the fire marshal doesn't show up now. I thought, oh, okay. Same thing. But I just want a couple of things real quick I want to mention, Margie. Today I went to vote because it is election day.
Right.
Up at Cornelius Town Hall. I've never voted on election day. I've always voted early.
Yeah.
So I got turned away and told, you don't belong here. You need to go to your precinct, which they had to tell me where it was. But there were about 4 or 5 other people that were told the same thing. And 2 of those people said, forget this. I'm just leaving if I can't vote here today. So I don't know if people are aware that on election day, you have an actual assigned precinct
Okay.
based on where you live that you need to show up to. So for me, never voted on election day, always voted early.
I do too.
Always
yeah.
went to town hall.
Yeah.
So it was a surprise today to come and be told that I
Yeah.
was sent away. So I don't want that to turn anybody off. I want to implore people to get out there and vote.
Please
it
do.
Matters.
It does.
Really, really matters. And you can. The way I feel about voting is, if you don't vote, you don't get an opinion.
That's right. I agree.
So if you are, curious about what's happening in your community, or you want to make a difference, get out and vote today, and make sure that you research where your precinct is before you go, because that was a hiccup
Yeah.
for me. So there you have it. The other thing I wanted to do is give a shout out to Christian Brothers Automotive in Huntersville. On Saturday, they had a community give back to the women of Hope House, and every one of the women who have a car at Hope House got new tires, new brakes.
Oh, my gosh.
New wipers.
I wish my son had got the car over to you before.
You know what? It's going to be a blessing either way. But honest to God, to think that they started the day by cooking them breakfast. So talk about servant hearts and good people in our community. If you need work on your car, get it to Christian Brothers.
Oh, that is amazing.
Incredible people. And I know we have a lot of grateful women that, coming in on a wing and a prayer on their cars.
Yes.
and or don't have one. So I know that you're going to be blessing us, and it's going to happen when it's going to happen, and we're going to be grateful.
Well, happy to do it.
Thank you.
Yes.
You make a big impact in this world, Margie, and
As do you.
sometimes
Yeah.
we forget about the little things
That's
that we
right.
do, right? But how we keep each other supported, and how as nonprofit sisters we're a family, and we
Well,
take care
I
of each
had
other.
Levine Children's Hospital come to our storage units for the first time.
Really? Okay.
They just didn't have time.
Aw.
And after about 500 toys and, she had on the wagon, she said, can I take a few more? I said, if the bag's empty, fill it up.
Wow.
So it just really does your heart good.
There's so many good things happening in this community. We say that every single week that we're on here, especially living in the nonprofit space that we live in. But I think Sunday at George's service, it was a real indication of how this community comes together and how we can do.
And Reese, if you could show his picture one more
Amazing
time, just so
things.
that people understand who he was?
George Walter Searle. He was the president of the Peninsula Community Foundation. He was also retired. They had asked some of the men to wear shorts to the service because George said once he retired, he never wanted to wear pants again. So some of his friends wore shorts, and he was a former, I want to say, with First National Bank. I know he was with Wachovia. I know he's with several.
Yes, and that's where Woody knew him so well.
Yeah, several banks. And so he just was a really gentle giant in our community who really loved the nonprofit space and loved what we
He's
did.
given a lot to Hope House and Little Smiles.
He sure has. And
Yeah.
so they have decided as a board to continue on, and they are going to be having their charity gala night, I believe, what do we say, November 15th at the Peninsula. There are
Yeah.
still tickets available, so you can go on the pcf.org website and get yourself a ticket if you want to learn more about George and the impact. There's so many nonprofits that they help support on the regular, and we're going to miss George and his good sense of humor and what he did. But yeah, that was Sunday. And what else is going on?
Well, we have our Donuts with Santa.
I got an email today. So yes, Donuts with Santa at Lost Worlds.
Yes.
I can't imagine.
And
what does it taste like to dunk your donut in your Lost Worlds beer?
At 9 a.m, I don't know.
I wouldn't know either. Maybe our guests will know. We'll have to
And
ask
then
him
the
today.
17th of this month is our golf tournament. We did postpone it.
You have a busy November.
Yeah.
And you're coming into your season, right, of collecting toys and things for
We
the
have the
kids?
boat parade coming on the 20th of December. If the lake gets a little more water, it's too low right now.
I know. What is up with that?
Yeah. So I'm hoping.
I think somebody let the plug out.
Yeah.
And didn't tell us. But I think, they do that every year in anticipation of the storms we have in the fall. But we really didn't have that many, so it didn't get filled back up. So we're going to have to be watching that closely. And I'm sure you'll keep us updated here every Tuesday on Community Centered. As Margie says all the time, if you are a nonprofit and you want to get your mission and your message out, we need to get in touch with either myself or Margie, and we would love to feature you on our show.
Love to.
That's
or
what we
just
do.
call in and give Reese your information, and we'll.
Reese is sitting at the helm. His hand is on the phone, 844-STUDIO-4, ready to take your call. If you have any questions to Margie or to myself or to our illustrious post office poster visitor that we have today, I asked our guest when we walked in, I said, "You look very familiar. Where have I seen your face?" He said, "Probably on the post office wall." So he's joking, but
well, not with what he does.
yeah. So if you're listening today and you have a question comes up to your head about anything in particular, we are happy to answer it.
It's going to be a fascinating
Fasten your seatbelt.
interview.
We're going to have a good time today and try to play Stump the Guest.
We will be very good and well behaved.
Really, really good. We shortly when we come back from break, Margie's going to be introducing you to Steve with Kairos. Did I say that right? Kairos. And we're going to learn all about that here shortly after break. First, we have to pay our sponsors, but we'll be back.
Spotlight and kindness, one story at a time. It's Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle, presented by the McIntosh Law Firm on WSIC.
Well, just a gorgeous early November day of weather around Lake Norman. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures making it to the upper 60s for the afternoon. Then we'll fall off into the low 40s overnight and low 70s for the rest of the work week. Really couldn't ask for better weather. And no rain in sight, just a low chance by the time we get to the weekend. Until then, enjoy. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the Macintosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshlawFirm.com.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. The 500 Club in Statesville is ready for you to experience golf, dining, and entertainment. Golf lessons, tea times, the Victory Lane Sports Bar and Grill, plus memberships are available at 704-872-9990 or online at the 500 Club. The Dirt Track at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents the World of Outlaws World Finals Wednesday through Saturday. Catch dirt racing's top 3 series in a title-deciding 4-day showcase. The World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, and the Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds. For tickets, camping information, and schedules, click on charlottemotorspeedway.com. Saturday is Christmas in the Ville at the Statesville Civic Center. Come shop from local businesses, enjoy food and drinks, create your own keepsakes, and the kids can play in the fun zone. Christmas in the Ville begins 10 a.m. Saturday at the Statesville Civic Center. The Fall Frenzy 5K is happening on November 22nd at ESC Park in Troutman. This run and walk benefits the Iredell County Crosby Scholars to support college and career access for Iredell students. Runners, walkers, and well-behaved leashed pets are invited. There will be a DJ, food trucks, face painting, games, post-race snacks, and awards. Visit crosbyscholars.org to register and for more information.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 23rd. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Shining a light on who's making a difference. It's Community Centered, hosted by Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. We have an exciting and interesting show for you. We love call-ins, so don't be shy. 844-STUDIO-4. And you are going to be very interested. Steve Melton is a Rotarian, and I first heard about Kairos prison ministry at a Rotary meeting, and I was fascinated. Number one, what made you get involved in a prison's ministry? Are you actually on the wall of the?
No, I stay off the wall. I want to stay off the wall. It's like it was kind of one of those little things that's in the back of your mind that you hear about for many, many years when you're younger, whatever. I mean, you hear about it, but you don't know where it is. You don't know how to access it. Okay, so it was just sitting back there dormant, so to speak, and then I joined a church. It was called Lake Forest Church in Denver, North Carolina. I live over in Denver. And I met a guy through a men's group over there. And he was very instrumental in the prison ministry group. The Kairos, and his group was in South Carolina. And they go to Kershaw Prison down there. And I was like, okay, bingo. Maybe this is God's calling that, this is the conduit. Going to look into this thing. And I did, and started to get involved, put my big toe in, and then got piped in. So that kind of got me involved, and this was about 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does Kairos mean?
It means in special time, God's special time. Basically, it's Greek. It's used quite frequently, and you mentioned it in church. You said it was in a church bulletin. You were talking about Kairos, but it's quite frequent, and it's strictly a biblical term in God's time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fish was the giveaway.
The fish,
the symbol of
yeah.
it, for sure. Incredible. Tell us about the significance of this. What does this mean?
Well, It means hope.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hope's in your organization's name as well.
Just a little
But
bit.
yeah, just a little bit, right? It originated in 1976 out of Florida, this group. And now it's morphed into, oh gosh almighty, I looked at the website before I came over here. I think almost 40 states.
Wow.
And about 360 plus 400 some prisons throughout the country. But each state has its own chartered corporation, so to speak, but it's under one umbrella, Kairos out of Florida, which is where it originated. So to answer your question, their mission is to go into prisons and help the broken, so to speak. And it's through a 4-day program that we do it. And it's not just a one-shot deal. It's ongoing.
I was going to ask you, how often do you go there?
Yeah, well, we have the opportunity to go back every month.
Okay.
But it's only for the participants that have been through it. So any participant.
And do you see the
that's been through
same
program-
people each time you go?
You can, if they have the opportunity. It just depends on the facility and everything. But I've been, going to South Carolina for 4 walks. We call them walks now. It's a 4-day retreat down there, and we don't stay at the prison. You're probably wondering.
I was wondering.
No.
What are the accommodations like?
I'm so glad.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been in the prison areas and I've seen the cells, and it's pretty dismal when you go back in there. But we stay at either a hotel or a local church. It's First Baptist Church in downtown Kershaw, and Kershaw is like a bump in the road. You just you wouldn't notice it. The town is kind of a standstill town. There's not much going on, but you got this amazing church that lets all the volunteers stay in the gym. A lot of them sleep in the gym, but I kicked myself out because I couldn't stand all the snoring. So I got out of there, and so I stayed at a hotel. I couldn't sleep real good. But a lot of the guys, they kind of punish themselves by doing that. And then every day, starting at like 7 o'clock, we get up, we get going, we pray, we sing, and we go over to the facility, and we put on it's basically 3.5, 4-day program with these guys. And 30 inmates participate, and not just any guy can get in it. A lot of them sign up. It's funny, you talk to them, and they're like, gosh, it took me 5 years to get in here.
Oh, wow.
Well, 5 years seems like a long time to us, but if you're in for 30,
Yeah.
5 years is still a long time, but it's
That's
like,
right.
okay. And then others are, we applied to get in this, and wasn't any problem. I don't know how they select them exactly. They used to select them by the toughest of the tough because of what they want to do. And, we look at the videos in our training and everything, and the tough ones is what they want because they want to soften them up if they can.
Yeah.
And the tough ones are the influencers. A lot of times, they're the big dogs, the roosters, okay, in the prisons. And if these guys melt, it helps the others. But it's not always like that anymore. I mean, I don't know how they select them, but they bring them in, and they have when they come in the room, they have a kind of a deer in the headlights look, like we're here for the food. Some of them are. They don't know what's going on. They've just heard about good things about it. And then we help take them through the program.
What kind of events do you have?
Well, it's every day there is a speakers and programs and discussions.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've got I have to read it, but the first day is Encountering Kairos, and it's to help to reduce the anxiety because it's like we don't want to try to impose any doctrine whatsoever on these guys. We tell them right up front, you got to be straight with people, and you tell them right up front, we're not here to proselytize or change your faith or whatever. We are a Christian organization, and we're just here to offer you an option, so to speak.
Okay.
And we don't try to impose anything on them. And they pretty much say, and this is a startling statistic, they have 35 decisions a day they can make on their own. We as people, free people, 255 decisions a day. Okay?
How do they know what those decisions
Yeah.
are?
I don't know. But they're so controlled because when you're in prison, you're controlled.
Yeah.
I mean, your day is controlled by from sun up to sundown or whatever. Because most of them in South Carolina, they have 2 guys in a cell. They're like 10 by 12 cells. In North Carolina, it's like 1 guy in a cell.
Yeah.
But it's like that's just an amazing number. When I heard that, it's like it's always stuck in my brain. So, in counting, Kairos, learning about it, you talk them a little bit about them, and then, countering, and then you get into talks, and you have these lay ministers, lay speakers. I'm a lay speaker.
Yeah.
I've done several talks, and then you have actually clergy that do some talks too. So they walk them through over the 3.5 days, a bank of talks, so to speak, and each one is helping to peel back the onion.
Okay.
Because that's what you're dealing with, peeling back the onion. Encountering self would be the choices, and that's one of the most impactful. Talking about the choices, and it's not just prisoners when it affects us too, because we all have choices. But a lot of these guys, they made one bad choice. We were talking a little while ago about the guy that shot through the mirror, right? Well, he shot through the mirror, and it went through the wall, and it went into the other apartment, right? All right. Well, they some of them done stupid stuff like that too, and other stuff have done premeditated stuff. But they can both land you in jail. The second one is you're not alone. Then we talk, and then next one's friendship with God. Then we talk about the church, and then opening the door, accepting God's forgiveness, and that's like through the second day, almost the third day, and then you get into more encountering Christ type of things. So you're walking these people up the stairs, so to speak, or maybe down the stairs. I don't know, kind of easing them into it, and then after each talk, they have the opportunity to experience the talk. So they bring out. You remember when you were in school, right? You had the poster boards or whatever, and we would color on them or whatever. They do that with these guys.
Yeah.
They literally diagram out what the talk was about. So they try to make it sink in, so to speak, and then we have a discussion at the table. And these once in a while you'll find a good artist in the group at each table. There's usually 6 tables or so, and there's 5 guys at each table, and then you got the 3 lay, and then 1 minister. So, we help, conduct the Q&A at the table. So, this goes on for the 3.5 days. And what you see is guys opening up. It takes a good full day. It's just like if you were to go to a party and didn't know anybody. Now, a lot of these guys don't know anybody when they go in, even though they're there. They're in 12 different dorm facilities, so a lot of them never see each other.
Yeah.
But when they get in, it's like a lot of them become friends. And it's like at the end when they do testimony, they actually stand up and tell it, what they say. Well, one of the greatest things was just getting to know Bill at the table. Met 5 great friends. So, that's a big thing to them because they're so isolated.
Yeah.
Just to have socialization.
It's all about the relationship.
Yep.
Which makes
it's
it
building a relationship.
all that more important. Where we are almost ready to go on another break. Time flies through these things, don't they, Margie?
Yep.
A million questions are going on in my head. So when we come back from break, I'm going to fire them away at you. But one of which I'm thinking is, what happens if it gets rowdy in there during the 4 days? I'm hoping that you get a little relief there. So.
We'll talk about that when we get back.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that's more than a 30-second answer for sure. But we're ready to take a station break. We want to shout out to the McIntosh Law Firm for their sponsorship of this program. Thanks so much. We'll see you back here shortly.
Good news lives here. It's community-centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, just a gorgeous early November day of weather around Lake Norman. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures making it to the upper 60s for the afternoon. Then we'll fall off into the low 40s overnight and low 70s for the rest of the work week. Really couldn't ask for better weather. And no rain in sight, just a low chance by the time we get to the weekend. Until then, enjoy. That's your forecast. From the WSIC Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshlawFirm.com.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Jay White here from Central Line of Realty. At Central Line of Realty, we believe it's all about you. If you're selling a home, buying a home, or adding doors to your rental portfolio, put the team at Central Line of Realty to work for you. Go to centrallineofrealty.com and let's get started.
I'll be honest, I wanted to be a diva. Why feel guilty? Let me help you be a diva for a few hours a week. Yes, I'm Andrea, owner of Spotless Cleaning. Our guarantee? It is very special. If you're unhappy, we'll do it again. Still unhappy? Your fee is donated to a charity of your choice. The Docinho de Coco Guarantee. To honor my grandparents, who taught me both a spotless house and time to live life big are important. Spotless Cleaning and C.com.
Dreaming of a new home or a better rate? At O'Brien Home Loans, our team of independent brokers find tailored solutions that truly fit your life. Proudly serving North Carolina with honest advice and local heart. Visit O'BrienHomeLoans.com today for a free quote.
Inspire your team and gallop to greatness. Our horses at Willow Equine are outstanding at working with people on leadership and team building skills, perfect for corporate retreats. Visit willowequine.com as you gallop to greatness.
Struggling with focus, memory, or mental clarity? Royer Neuroscience offers personalized, remote brain training designed to improve your cognitive health. Anywhere, anytime, you can boost focus, enhance mental performance, and thrive emotionally and physically. Visit RoyerNeuroscience.com and reclaim your brain today.
Ready to take control of your weight with real medical support? At Renew Specialty Group, we offer semaglutide, tirzepatide, and now retatrutide with complimentary consultations, personalized plans, and real results. Visit RenewHealthWellnessNC.com. Your transformation starts here.
Friendly reminder, don't brake when you see the lake.
WSIC. Local starts here.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Bitcoin is taking a hit today, giving back gains made during Wall Street's euphoric embrace and a surge in institutional buying. Bitcoin falling today to the lowest since June. Job cuts on the way at IBM and American Airlines. IBM cutting thousands as it accelerates its focus on software growth, and American is slashing hundreds of corporate jobs. Meltdown at Papa John. Shares of the pizza chain sliding after Reuters reported Apollo Global Management has pulled its bid to take the company private. The U.S. is close to fielding two new weapons called Meadowlands and the Remote Modular Terminal, designed to temporarily jam Chinese and Russian intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance satellites. The fresh systems will be dispersed worldwide and sometimes operated remotely. And sources say a Mac you might be able to afford is on the way. Apple preparing to enter the low-cost laptop market for the first time, developing a budget Mac aimed at luring away customers from Chromebooks and entry-level Windows PCs. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
The button pushing stops here.
WSIC. Local starts here.
Real people making a real impact. The McIntosh Law Firm brings you community-centered, right here on WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. You're listening to Community Centered. And before we went on break, we were talking with Steve from Kairos,
Yeah.
Prison Ministry. And my question was, as I'm envisioning, I'm a visual person, right? These prisoners in this opportunity for them. But what happens if things go awry or you trigger someone and something happens?
They lock it down real quick.
I bet.
It's never happened yet.
Yeah.
They've had incidents outside. We were talking at break about where is this retreat.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a multi-purpose room because the facility is like a big, ugly high school. Okay. All right. But you go in a multi-purpose room with AV and all that. And I mean, it's like when you're in there, you don't realize you're in a prison.
Yeah.
Because you don't go out and see cells until we deliver cookies. And that's the cue to talk about that in a while. But they'll have stuff go down out there once in a while. And then they'll do a lockdown. If that occurs, nobody moves. We have to stay where we are. They send them back to their cells, that kind of thing. I was actually delivering cookies, and we'll talk about the cookie thing in a minute, out to the cells with some other guys. And they had a lockdown. So I ended up spending about a half an hour or so in a cell block with 5 or 6 guys. They were milling around. Now, these were more privileged prisoners, so they can get out, move around. They're not locked up all the time. And all we did was sit there and talk about football. So, I mean, and then we're
now,
like,
do you
okay.
keep in touch with these people after?
No, you really can't. The only way you can get to know them after the fact is either you go to a seminar, they're going to be there, or we have these usually monthly reunions. We call them reunion weekends. It's a 3 to 4 hour retreat where they can come in and sing and pray and all that kind of thing. So anybody that's been through the Kairos program is eligible to do it. Okay. And then they have a prayer and share every week that guys that live around Lancaster and places like that for this facility, they conduct those. And they're usually a couple of hours or whatever. And these guys give up their lunch for this kind of thing, And of course the prison, if there's one thing that I hear, they don't complain much, believe it or not. They complain more about the food in prison. It's awful.
I'm sure.
I saw it one day and I was like,
So is that where the cookies comes from?
The cookies helped really endear them, I'll tell you that.
So my son, a long time ago, was in a movie called Sleepers. And it was his job to play a 14-year-old kid in a juvenile detention center. And so they wanted real visualization. So when they served the meatloaf and mashed potatoes, they had maggots in them. And so you can imagine the reaction they got. But he was supposed to be acting, and he said that was not acting that day. That was the real of that. But so I'm wondering too, Steve, when they participate in this program and after it's finished, do they get like a certificate or like you've graduated or you've completed? Because I'm thinking from self-esteem point of view or from a relationship point of view, like how great would that be for them to think I completed something, right? I finished.
I don't remember seeing certificates or anything like that.
Interesting.
No, they don't. It's at the end, and it's probably the most gratifying time when you've been there because you're really tired. We're really tired. We haven't slept that well because we're sleeping out of our homes, for 3.5, 4 days. And these guys, they get up and do testimonials. Mm-hmm. And they literally, some of these people haven't put 2 sentences together in front of a crowd in their lives.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden they're going up in front of a group of 60-some and saying some nice stuff. Yeah. All of it's nice. But no, they get pictures. I showed you a picture of the group a little while ago. Can't show the prisoners online or anything like that.
This is a picture of the volunteers.
Yeah, the volunteers you can. But that was from a few walks ago. I don't have the current one, but we all stand out in front of the church there. But no, they do not get certificates. They get a lot of heartfelt congratulations that you made it and keep coming back. We want them to come back to the reunions. We want them to come back to the prayer and share. Because, I mean, it's like, okay, you get a certain high out of this. They do. But after it's over, guess what? You go back into an 8x10 and then you're having we do talk to them about, hey, you're going to get put down. You're going to go out there and they're like, other fellow prisoners are going to give you a hard time about this. So the real world is rough for them once they come back. Now, some of them can keep things going. but they're so controlled, So, but give them trophies or something.
Yeah, for something.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about the cookie ministry.
Okay, cookies. That's a great, attractive idea for these guys. They don't eat well, but every inmate in a facility that Kairos does a program at, and we do it for 30 people, 36. But if there's 1,200, if there's 1,400 in the facility, and the guards or anybody that works there we target to give 2 dozen home-baked cookies.
That's a lot of cookies.
It's a lot of cookies. Margie, she supplied, how many? 1,200 prisoner cookies last month. I'm kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I got a nice share of the Rotary. So each guy has to go out and try to round up cookies, and my target's usually 60 dozen. So if you got 36 volunteers, maybe 40, and then if each of us is getting 60 dozen to 80, it adds up. Okay.
I'm sure.
And then I usually end up with 110 dozen range, and then I bring it like to the church. The church, I can pick it up too. So each churches have drop-offs for cookies. But yeah, and then they get the cookies and they love it. So it's like, why do you want to cause a rousing situation when you got people bringing you good stuff to eat?
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Yeah,
exactly.
And they all love it, man.
Yeah, and I see that there are very specifics with your cookies, right? Like you can't put frosting on them. No. You can't have any sugar or any coating on the outside
You know that.
of it.
You know why, right?
Why is that?
Liquor. They make, home brew. You think about it. Sugar creates fermentation. We got a lot of time on your hands. You figure out a way to make home brew. Yeah, very clever. So anything with sugar granules, and I always get asked, what about stuff with raisins? Yeah, raisins can do it too. I have not had any raisin products or kicked out yet, but there's certain types of things you can't. They're going to kick it out because it's just too sugary, kind of thing.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I would have never.
That's crazy.
I think when we think about prison, at least I am thinking of Escape from Alcatraz, right? Because your average person has never visited or taken a field trip to a prison. So you think about, guards hitting their batons on the jail cells and everything. But so you say it isn't like that?
No, it's not like that from what I've seen. Now, we don't see many guards in South Carolina. They just don't. There's a guard shortage. So it's all policed electronically. It can. Well, you got to put it out of your mind because as we were talking earlier, it's like when you're walking through the door and that gate clumps behind you, like it's not like you just turn around and run out. Well, if you catch the people's attention, you can get out of there. But it's like once you're in, it's not easy to get out, so to speak. But what we run into, and when we go out and we call them the cookie runs, where we meet out with the prisoners, is senior guards. I mean, senior inmates. These are guys that know the ropes. Mm-hmm. They've got privilege. A lot of them are in the chaplain's office. They keep the roost ruled, so to speak.
There's a hierarchy,
and you don't
mess
mess with us kind of stuff, and they like that privilege. So you feel pretty good when you're out with these guys. Okay. But are we, and we'll see a guard once in a while, but not that often.
Well, again, here we go, ready for break. As time is just flying for sure. And we want to make sure that you get your calls in at 844-STUDIO-4 should you have any prison break calls or anything for Margie with a Little Smiles or me with Hope House. We'd be happy to answer your questions. So call us here on Community Centered.
Spotlight and kindness, one story at a time. It's Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle, presented by the McIntosh Law Firm on WSIC.
Well, just a gorgeous early November day of weather around Lake Norman. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures making it to the upper 60s for the afternoon. Then we'll fall off into the low 40s overnight and low 70s for the rest of the work week. Really couldn't ask for better weather. And no rain in sight, just a low chance by the time we get to the weekend. Until then, enjoy. That's your forecast. From the WSIC Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. The 500 Club in Statesville is ready for you to experience golf, dining, and entertainment. Golf lessons, tea times, the Victory Lane Sports Bar and Grill, plus memberships are available at 704-872-9990 or online at the 500 Club. The Dirt Track at Charlotte Motor Speedway presents the World of Outlaws World Finals Wednesday through Saturday. Catch dirt racing's top 3 series in a title-deciding 4-day showcase. The World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, and the Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds. For tickets, camping information, and schedules, click on charlottemotorspeedway.com. Saturday is Christmas in the Ville at the Statesville Civic Center. Come shop from local businesses, enjoy food and drinks, create your own keepsakes, and the kids can play in the fun zone. Christmas in the Ville begins 10 a.m. Saturday at the Statesville Civic Center. The Fall Frenzy 5K is happening on November 22nd at ESC Park in Troutman. This run and walk benefits the Iredell County Crosby Scholars to support college and career access for Iredell students. Runners, walkers, and well-behaved leashed pets are invited. There will be a DJ, food trucks, face painting, games, post-race snacks, and awards. Visit crosbyscholars.org to register and for more information.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 23rd. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Shining a light on who's making a difference. It's Community Centered, hosted by Devio Hanley and Margi Kyle on WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back. We're here with Steve Melton. And I would love to know if somebody wants to volunteer, who do they call? And I also want to get your information if somebody wants to reach out to you.
They can go to the Kairos website, and then there's a link to North Carolina and to South Carolina there.
Okay.
They can put a inquiry in through that, or
and is that, what is that website?
I believe it's www.kairos.org.
Org.
I believe it is, yeah. So it's or kairosinternational.org. I don't have it right in front of me, but with everybody says Google this, Google that, whatever. Just Google it.
And I went
or
on
put
your
it in
site
your browser.
last night.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. So, and you can there was a lady from Rotary who had a ex-husband or whatever passed away. And he had an affinity for Texas, and she made a donation to the Texas Kairos Ministries. Now he wasn't a former prisoner or anything like that, but I got her in touch with the Texas group. So I mean, they're accessible. You can make contributions because these things are expensive. Just to give you an idea, the North Carolina one in Morganton at Foothills, which they're having this weekend, I heard numbers when I did one training with them, like $40,000, $40,000, but they pay for everything, for everybody. South Carolina's a lot less because we import a lot of things in and whatever. But, you can email me. You can get a hold of me by phone, whatever. We're always
What's
looking.
your email?
You want it? SAMELT56@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if people are just picking up their pencil, can you give it to us one more time?
SAMELT56@gmail.com. Email me. And
now, do you connect with the other volunteers often?
somewhat frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all on email streams or whatever.
I would
so.
think you would need that support.
It becomes a brotherhood.
Yes.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, you go in, like I was telling you earlier, and it is a foreign situation, and it's you kind of get bit by it a little bit, and you're like, okay, I experienced this. How much do I want to experience it again and again and again? And the more you get involved, and I'm one of these involvement kind of guys, it's like if you get me the task and get me, that's how you get me interested. So they started giving me more tasks. So I started to get more interested, and I felt like, after the fourth one, you feel like you got more of a brotherhood with these guys.
Yeah.
Whatever. And they do need women, too, in the support staff structure is quite a
And we were talking about that during the break.
Yeah, the other thing we were talking about was Steve issued me a challenge on collecting cookies for the next go-round in March. So I'm going to take that challenge on.
I want it.
But my favorite part about the cookies that we didn't mention was the key ingredient in those cookies, which is prayer. And I think that's really important to stress that as you're making these cookies and you're praying over them for all the right things of what they're going to do for the inmate, for the staff, and how they're going to use God to bring His love and shine His love on these cookies. So, challenge accepted.
Okay.
I'll make sure that in March you get that, and we will make this station part of that too, Margie, where we will make it a drop-off place for all those cookies because I think it's a fabulous, fabulous ministry.
Yes, it is.
What brings you hope?
What brings me hope?
Mm-hmm.
With this organization specifically, I think that it continues to grow, and the word spreads.
Yeah,
that's really what it. And it's just like anything else. When you're an outsider looking in, until you experience something you don't understand, or until you walk in the other man's shoes, you really don't know what the other man is thinking. And that's just like the same with this. And we're talking off break. These are people too.
That's
and
right.
They're made in God's image, just like us. We don't ask them what they've done. We tell them what our backgrounds are, or whatever, if they want to learn about that. But what gives me hope is that we'll expand and that more people will be saved, so to speak. That we can get more volunteers out there to help these people. It's a forgotten part of society. There's an element out there I know of people like, what about the victims? What are you doing to help them? Well, there is a part of this organization that does help families and victims. And I mean, it's like one guy can impact hundreds of people from his crime. We know that. But, they're in there, and if they get out, and a lot of them will, in 5 to 7 years, they will probably get out. You want them to come into a society on a grateful and a hopeful basis, and this does help give them that. So giving hope to the broken.
I think that's beautiful, Steve. And I read a long time ago sometimes that the work that we do might be the only Bible that people read, right? So you opening your heart and coming to these gentlemen and giving love and time and relationship might be the biggest Bible they've ever read, so that when they step out into their new world, they'll remember that, and maybe they'll make that grow, just like that pebble we talk about every week, Margie, of growing it. So I congratulate you on doing that, because it sounds courageous to me to be able to step in. I've stepped into a prison before, a woman's prison, which I think could be a little bit different than a men's. And it's not an easy place to be. It's a very anxiety-producing experience to go in there, but yet so rewarding. When you give someone hope, it's invisible, but yet it can be seen. And so you showing up and being that hope shines us a little bit more brighter in our world.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. And I love that you use the cookies as a tool to make that happen, because who doesn't love a good cookie, right? You got to trust somebody with a bag of cookies, that's for sure.
Well, food entices.
The way to your
it's a universal love language too, right?
It's a universal love language.
Yeah, we always want to be offering that for sure. But I think the ministry and what you're doing for our community, I mean, they're forgotten and they're left behind. And yes, a lot of regret and shame. I'm sure you're walking into an arena with a lot of shame shield that probably gets thrown up. But I at first I was questioning why the 4 days, but I think it probably takes 4 days to drop the shield, right, and be able to break through.
Yeah, and you have to bring them through a cathartic program.
Yeah.
And most of them go there. Now, once in a while, some will wash out, so to speak. I don't really like that term, but they just don't come back. I mean, and they don't let them back in the room or the place, but for the most part, they go through, and they're just. It's like I call it going from the basement to the penthouse kind of thing.
Yeah.
In their attitudes, and they're singing and laughing and praising at the end. At the beginning, they're shaking hands, and we do shake their hands, and it's just a, it's a nervous thing.
Yeah.
But it's like anything else. I mean, it's like our first time we went to the high school prom, we were nervous too. But then after 2 or 3 of them, we weren't so bad, right? Nervous, but I wouldn't call this a prom. But
who went to 3 proms?
How many
did you
proms
go to 3
did you go
proms?
to?
No, I was in the hospital.
Goodness gracious. No, I think it's a beautiful.
I just commend you for doing this. I really, really do. I wasn't sure how today was going to go, but what a difference you're making in a life that has no hope and direction.
Yeah, I it's like I think every young person, at a certain age, at least when they hit like maybe 12 to 13, should experience going into a prison.
Yeah.
It will make a whole different view in their minds.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's like I think I have 2 girls, every girl, and I never taught them this, should learn to change a tire. All right.
When I was 16, do you know, on my 16th birthday, my father came up to my bedroom with a cup of black coffee, which I went, ooh. And he said, get up, get your play clothes on. We're going to have a
Did
busy
you say
day.
60 or 16?
16. He had bought me a new car with 3 tires off and 1 on.
Oh, yeah?
He said to me, if you can take the 4th tire off, put the other 3 back on, the car is yours.
Did you do it?
Yep.
Wow.
All day crying.
And
This is not a gift.
This is pre-Google and pre-YouTube.
So then, all my neighbors are going, can we come over? Can we come for a ride? And my father said, not today. It was a stick shift.
Oh, you had to learn.
So going out the driveway. At least I had my tires
I say
on.
every girl change a tire, but there's guys that don't know how to change them either. But fathers tend to do more of that with their sons. But in prison's the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, and they do have women's prison, and they're a lot smaller numbers of them, but they have the same issues with them. But everybody, once you see them, it's like it makes an indelible impression on these
That's
kids.
Right.
I'm telling you. Once you go into a hospital as a young person, I never went into intensive care and saw somebody. It was like, man,
life-changing.
Yeah.
Oh, you just don't know. And when you're younger, it's a life-changing experience as a young person to see what a hospital situation, and you've been in numerous. You've seen so much. It makes an impression on young people. Either stay away or get involved.
Yeah,
I say that all the time too. We need to see how our homeless neighbors live too, because we talk about grateful hearts, right? Is seeing all that. So, Steve, we want to thank you for being a guest here today on Community Centered. It's fabulous.
Was fabulous.
Just remember Steve in your prayers, right? And the work that he's doing, and the gentleman that he is serving, and women too. There, this is a tough thing to be doing, but commendable. So well done.
All right,
good job.
Thank you.
Serving you better than ever before. WSIC, Statesville, W290DK Mooresville, W264CU Statesville.
Hi, this is Bob McIntosh.